Italy for 2025, it's really emerging as this surprising hotspot for international students, wouldn't you say?
Definitely. It's more than just, the beautiful scenery.
Right. People are realizing they offer top-notch degrees, engineering, design, business, often much cheaper than in the US or UK.
And it's all wrapped up in this incredible academic tradition, the oldest in the world.
Oh, quite a mix.
Yeah, that combination is pretty compelling. And that's why we're doing this today. This deep dive is really for you, the listener, if you're trying to figure out your next steps as an international student.
This is our mission today.
It's pretty straightforward. We're digging into our sources. We've got a full guide to top Italian universities for 2025. Plus, we're pulling in insights from students who've actually been there, like Rahul Shetty, Priya Kiran, Aditya Ramesh, getting those key takeaways.
Yeah, we want to get past the glossy brochures. We're focusing on the academics, the actual costs, and what it's really like for students on the ground.
Exactly. So let's start with the big why. Why Italy? I mean, beyond the amazing culture, what makes its education system stand out right now?
Well, one thing that jumps out, and it kind of pushes back against what you might assume about Europe, is the cost. You'd think education this good has to be incredibly expensive, right? Like U.S. levels.
But it often isn't. That's the fascinating part. Tuition fees at Italian public universities are, generally speaking, much lower than in places like the US or the UK.
We're talking significant savings.
Yeah, real savings that can make a world-class degree actually achievable. And that's even before we talk about scholarships and financial aid.
And importantly, Italy isn't just, the place for arts and humanities, although they're obviously brilliant at that.
Oh, absolutely.
Our sources really spotlight some key academic strengths.
They really do. Italian universities are powerhouses in design, think fashion, industrial design, but also engineering, business, architecture, big time.
And the programs.
They're built with careers in mind. So lots of emphasis on things like internships, often mandatory ones, research projects, that kind of hands-on experience that makes graduates really competitive globally.
It's that blend, isn't it? You've got these super modern research labs existing right alongside a place like the University of Bologna, which started teaching in 1088. It's mind-boggling.
That history is the bedrock. It means you get this incredible cultural immersion that you just can't replicate. You're not just getting a degree.
No.
You're living somewhere surrounded by centuries of architecture. Amazing food traditions are just part of daily life. Like our guide puts it, Italy gives international students a one-of-a-kind mix of world-class education and la dolce vita.
Okay, so the why is pretty clear. Now, the crucial next step. Where exactly? Let's break down those top 5 universities your guide recommends. Help you compare them a bit.
Yeah, we can sort of group them. You've got the big historical research-focused places and then the more specialized industry-linked hubs.
Right. Let's start with those foundational giants.
Okay, first up, Bologna. University of Bologna, as you said, literally the oldest university in the world.
Incredible.
Its strength is its sheer scale and breadth. Arts, humanities, sciences, engineering, business. You name it, and a huge focus on research and international links.
Then there's Padua, University of Padua.
Also very old, though not quite Bologna old. Padua is known for really strong research and, again, a great range of programs, science, law, humanities. Plus, it has that classic, beautiful, old campus feel.
So if you want that historical vibe with serious academics, Padua is a strong contender.
Definitely. Now let's shift to the big cities, the kind of modern industry centers.
Okay, so we have to talk about Rome. University of Rome, Sapienza.
Sapienza, yeah, it's massive. One of the largest universities in Europe, huge resources.
What are its strengths?
Particularly strong in engineering, medicine, and the humanities. And because it's so big, it has really well-developed support systems specifically for international students, which is a huge plus.
And we heard from Aditya Ramesh, right? He did computer science there.
Yeah, and he mentioned how crucial the specialized labs in his department were for his thesis. That scale really matters in technical fields.
Okay, next up, Milan, the capital of fashion, design, business.
Right, and home to Milano Politecnico?
Politecnico di Milano, a big name.
Huge. If you're aiming for engineering, technology, or design, it's absolutely top tier, relentlessly focused on innovation.
And good for international students.
Very. Because of its industry ties and global outlook, lots of its advanced courses are taught entirely in English. Rahul Shetty, who did mechanical engineering there, specifically chose it for its international partnerships and those built-in internship opportunities.
Makes sense. And sticking with Milan, for the business-focused students.
You've got Bocconi University.
Right, Oconee.
It's basically a global powerhouse for business, economics, finance. If your priorities are networking, specialized master's degrees, and getting plugged straight into industry.
Especially finance or consulting.
Exactly. Bocconi provides those really strong connections and focused programs.
Okay, this list is great, but it brings up a really common concern for international students.
Yeah.
The language. Do I have to be fluent in Italian to get my degree at these places?
Good question. And the answer is not necessarily for the degree itself. Our sources confirm many of these top universities, especially at the master's level, offer full programs taught in English.
Particularly in popular fields.
Yeah, things like engineering, international business, arts management. Those often have strong English-taught options.
And beyond just the degree programs, there's flexibility in the system too, right? Things like exchange programs.
Absolutely. They're very active in programs like Erasmus Plus Him.
Can you quickly explain Erasmus Plus for listeners who might not know?
Sure. It's a massive EU initiative that helps students study abroad within Europe. So you could be enrolled at, say, Bologna, but spend a semester studying in Spain or Germany through Erasmus Plus Crash. It's incredibly common and relatively easy to arrange.
That kind of mobility is a huge advantage.
Definitely adds another layer of experience.
Okay, this leads us nicely into the really practical stuff, the logistics and reality check section. Academics are one piece, but how do you actually get in? And how do you afford it?
Right, the nitty-gritty. The application process itself is usually online, pretty standard. You'll need your high school diploma for a bachelor's, or your bachelor's degree if you're going for a master's.
And the paperwork.
That's where the main effort is. Getting your transcripts officially translated and validated, letters of recommendation, and crucially, proof of language proficiency, either Italian or English, depending on your program.
Okay, and let's circle back to money. We said tuition is generally low, but the real game changer seems to be financial aid. Your guide mentioned some specific options.
That's right. There are real aid options, not just promises. International students can apply for scholarships based on merit, or sometimes based on financial need. The Italian government scholarship is a big one, quite competitive.
But maybe more accessible are these regional grants. Tell us about those.
Yeah, these are really important. They're offered by the regional governments where the universities are located. Often, they're based on your family's income level.
And they cover more than just tuition.
Often, yes. They can help with housing costs, subsidize meals at university canteens, or even provide a small cash stipend for living expenses. This is what really makes that cost-effective claim a reality for many students. It bridges the gap.
That sounds genuinely helpful. But let me push back a bit here. You mentioned lower tuition, great. But then you immediately pointed out that Milan and Rome, where 3 of our top 5 universities are, have a much higher cost of living.
True.
So for the average student, how much of that tuition saving gets wiped out by paying rent in, say, central Milan?
That is the crucial reality check. You're absolutely right. While the tuition savings are real, your monthly budget needs to seriously account for living costs, especially in those big cities.
What kind of figures are we talking?
Our sources suggest a range. Maybe 700 euros a month in a smaller university town, but easily 1,200 euro or even more in Milan or Rome, mostly driven by rent.
So meticulous budgeting is key.
Absolutely essential, especially for accommodation in the major centers. The savings on tuition are still there, but you have to plan carefully for living expenses.
Okay. And beyond the money, the students we heard from, their experiences highlighted some common challenges, things you need to prepare for. You identified 6 key ones.
Yes, 6 common hurdles that can really trip you up if you're not ready.
Let's walk through them. Number 1.
The language barrier. Seems obvious, but even if your classes are in English, everyday life shopping, dealing with landlords, any kind of bureaucracy outside the university bubble really requires at least basic Italian.
Makes sense. Okay, numbers 2 and 3 sound like logistical nightmares waiting to happen.
They can be. Number 2 is adjusting to the culture. Things often work differently, maybe at a slower pace than you're used to. Patience is key. Priya Kiran, who studied in Bologna, mentioned finding it hard initially to break into social circles and make close Italian friends. She had to be much more outgoing than she expected.
That's a great insight. And number 3.
Navigating the Italian healthcare system.
Ah, yes, the admin hurdle.
Exactly. It's not that the healthcare is bad. It's generally very good. But accessing it involves specific steps, registering with the national service, finding a local doctor, understanding the rules. It can feel overwhelming right when you arrive.
So seek help from the university's international office on that one early on.
Immediately, don't wait.
Okay. And the final three challenges are more about academic and social adjustments.
Right. Number 4 is a big one. Differences in school expectations, especially teaching and assessment styles.
How so?
Well, many international students come from systems with lots of continuous assessment, assignments, maybe multiple choice exams. Italian universities quite often rely heavily on big, comprehensive oral exams at the end of a course.
Oral exams. Wow, that requires a totally different way of studying and preparing.
Completely different. You need to know your stuff inside out and be able to articulate it clearly. It can be a shock if you're not prepared.
That's a really vital piece of information.
Right.
Okay, what are the last two challenges?
Number 5 is dealing with bureaucracy in general. This ties into culture and language. Registering for classes, getting your residency permit sorted, these things can take time and persistence. And number 6, which is universal but maybe feels sharper abroad, is building your social network.
Making friends.
Yeah, you really have to make an effort, join clubs, sports teams, language exchanges. Unlike some campus environments where everyone lives together, the social life might not just happen automatically. You need to be proactive.
Okay, so summing up the practical side,
Yeah.
even with English classes,
Yeah.
learn some basic Italian. It's just essential for daily life.
Crucial.
And beyond that, the main takeaway seems to be Italy offers this amazing educational opportunity, often more affordable tuition-wise, but it demands serious prep work. Budgeting carefully, especially for city living costs, applying early for aid, and really bracing yourself for those 6 potential bumps in the road: language, culture, healthcare, academics, bureaucracy, and social life.
That's it perfectly. Italy gives you world-class education, a competitive degree, this unbelievable cultural backdrop, often at a more accessible price point than other Western countries. But you have to do your homework before you go. Plan for the logistics, prepare for the cultural shift.
So we've covered the top schools, the potential costs, the common pitfalls. Your guide mentioned several ways to really make the most of the experience once you're there, and one that stood out was simply to think about what you went through, reflect on it. And that brings us to a final thought, really a question for you, the listener. You've heard about the intense academics at places like Politecnico or Bocconi, and the equally intense, potentially demanding cultural experience of living in Italy. So how will you personally structure your time? How will you make sure your Italian adventure isn't just about hitting the books, but also about fully embracing and reflecting on that unique cultural journey? That balance, finding your own way between the study grind and la dolce vita, well, that's ultimately up to you.